Ja, herzlich willkommen zur neuen Ausgabe vom SI-Talk. Sie wissen, ich bin in Vancouver und wir versuchen immer, Leute für ein Interview zu finden, die momentan etwas zu sagen haben. Und deswegen bin ich heute bei Chris Anderson. Er ist Chef, CEO bei Ximen und er wird uns sagen, was eigentlich in den letzten Wochen, Monaten eigentlich bei der Company los war. Chris, thank you. Do you have time for me? First question. You're coming up with a lot of news, so maybe you can give a small overview what you're doing in the last 3 to 6 months.
Sure, Joe. First of all, if I can just mention that, about our share structure a little bit. Okay, so we've got about 14 million shares out, so we're very tight float. We built the company from day one where we've built in warrants that were forced all the way along, so we have no warrants overhanging the stock, right?
Okay.
So if you want to be part of this deal, you got to own some shares in the company, okay? We didn't want to create any walls going forward, so we got a good structure. We teamed ourselves up in early 2013 with a mining group, a well-known mining group here in southern British Columbia. The guys that have been in the mining business for over 50 years and have ran several different gold mines. One in particular, Erickson Gold Mine with Teck. Al Beaton, one of our key guys, that was one of the most profitable gold mines in the 80s. In 2013, there was no money in the markets, as you know. And so we wanted to start to isolate and look for projects that we could turn into cash flow opportunities. Like a lot of juniors, bridging from exploration into the mining is a very difficult task. So in each project step, what we wanted to do is we wanted to evaluate them from an exploration potential, but then not only could we execute and do mining on them as well. On the geology side, we brought in a lady named Linda Caron. Linda Caron is one of the most respected geologists in southern BC. She's worked with Peter Bernier, sold his company for $500 million. She just wrote 43-101 for. Her 43-1s are used as a model amongst the department. And Linda is specialized in southern British Columbia. She's worked with Kinross, and so she's been evaluating assets in southern British Columbia for a while. She brought forward an asset to us in Greenwood called the Gold Drop. The Gold Drop was held with a mining group that had been just high grading the property, 3-4 ounce material. They ran a little small ball mill on it, so it's had no modern geology done on it. So in early 2013, Al Beaton and the mining crew got involved with Linda, and they looked at this asset and decided it had an opportunity to do some bulk sampling on it. They brought it to me. I said, well, if you can prove up some potential there that we can create some cash flow, we've got a vehicle, Ximen, that we could bring that asset into. So they basically worked on the project on their own dime through 2013. Early October, they came forward. They chose one vein. They did some assays on it. They got 2 ounces per ton, low sulfide structure. They looked at the whole property. There's several opportunities there. We've identified 3 areas to pull out 3 2,500-ton bulk samples that we're targeting 1/2 ounce. But that was not the key thing. What happened was, over the course of the summer while everybody was working together, they started talking about another project called the Brett. And all the miners in southern BC are aware of this project. It's had a lot of history, a lot of controversy. The last 10 years it's been tied up in fractional ownership. It's been through the courts. High grade, nuggety, low sulfide system, big target potential. They suggested that I start working on it. We managed to unlock and solve some of the problems with the ownership and the structure, and there was a convoluted NSR that we bought out and negotiated, and so we managed to clear all those things up and brought it into Ximen. You asked me what was going on over the last 3 months. We've got no website. We were doing no promotion. We moved that asset in the company, and all of a sudden we had all the miners in southern BC buying our stock. And we quickly went from like 20 cents up to 60 cents, and now we're trading anywhere 90 cents. We've seen as high as $1.30. What has happened is that the Brett project itself is it's a very large epithermal system. It's one of the first epithermal discoveries ever made in southern British Columbia, and it's already seen on one main shear zone 10,000 meters of diamond drilling, 3,000 meters of RC drilling. It's had an adit put in there, a test adit that Al Beaton and those guys drove. It's had 2 bulk samples on it, and one of the bulk samples was done hundreds of meters away from the main shear zone. It was done with a cat, and they basically scooped ore out over an ounce material and shipped it to trail, and they got like 0.8 of an ounce. It's a wide system, and it goes over several kilometers, but it's seen no modern technology, and it was one of the first epithermal discoveries made in BC when they didn't really understand epithermal systems. So we got it in the company. We've signed a couple of CAs with some major gold companies, and we decided, we put together a little brain trust, and I said to the geologists and the technical team that we put together, we said, look, we'll give you 4 months. They wanted to go out and gather all the historic data they've ever done on this project. So we've done that, put it all together. We had John May, who was working with Kinross at the Buckhorn facility just across the line, come in and do all our GIS modeling and model all the data up. That's just been completed, and now there's a couple of companies reviewing that data now. We are, we'll have 3D models produced in that. Linda and I spent months gathering all that data, meeting all the different geologists and getting all the rock samples, and everything was done. And then recently, as of yesterday, we had another gentleman join our team, and that's Dr. Mike Rasmussen. And I spent last week out with Mike in the field. We've made several new discoveries there that were unknown at the time, and Dr. Rasmussen's background, he worked with Kinross. He was involved in the asset they got over in Russia. He was responsible for finding and defining 2 of their epithermal assets in Washington. He's extremely well respected. His bio's on our news release. He's now joined the team on the advisory board, but he's also an active member in the field. So we've put together a good technical team, and our main focus is the Brett project. And what we're targeting there is we're looking at a 3 million ounce target. That's what we're looking at.
Okay, but what you really plan for the next 3 to 6 months then? Hopefully in 3 to 6 months we sit together and then can...
Yeah, I apologize for going on. Okay, so basically we've both projects, the Gold Drop and the Brett, they're both permitted for trenching and drilling. Okay, Gold Drop, we've earmarked 3 2,500-ton bulk samples. We just started moving crews on there, got their accommodations. They're up there starting to work now, and we hope to do 3 bulk samples by the end of the season.
Okay. When is the end of the season?
August, September.
August.
Yeah,
okay.
and part of the reason, the interest that we're working there is that there's several mills in the area, but what's interesting is that Kinross's Buckhorn facility just across the state line, the Gold Drop's actually closer to their facility than where they're currently trucking ore in. Okay, and they need feed. And so this is why we originally started working on the Gold Drop, looking for a mining opportunity to feed Buckhorn's needs. And so we've had some discussions with them, obviously. So that's what the Gold Drop was about. However, we've been in there. There's lots more potential, so we plan on drilling it. We're going to open all those structures up with 2 objectives. One objective is to target those 3 2,500-ton bulk samples that we're targeting half-ounce material. And then the second objective is to look at the overall infrastructure there and see if we can expand that resource. Right in the middle of that property sat another mine called the Dentonia mine that pulled out 115,000 tons of 10-gram material. The head frame and all the underground development done on that was done by Alex McPherson and Al Beaton, who are working with us. And so all the surrounding ground there that was all hybrid was their buddy Ed Brown that we acquired the asset from. So Gold Drop's got those 2 objectives. The Brett, it's a big project. We've got lots of discoveries, so we want to do data compilation, start in and do all our groundwork. We're permitted right now for doing 32 holes and 20 drill pads. Some of the holes that they got in there, Joe, 55 feet of 1 ounce material. There's phenomenal results. There's 2 other parallel shear zones. One of them, I can't remember, there was 7 feet of 4.9 ounces. And they stopped in mineralization, never followed up. And the property's not seen about $750,000 worth of work in the last 10 years.
Okay.
Right? But I mean, this has got low sulfides, big nuggety grades, and yeah, we're finding all kinds of new showings. So that property, we're planning on drilling, and We brought Mike on board, and he's been on the ground. We did some announcement. We got several news releases coming out of the pipe here. We're doing some geophysics on it over the original structures, and then we'll be drilling in August. If we pull out...
How much you will plan to drill?
Well,
How much meters?
They're targeting 32 holes, and we're
Okay.
playing between 2,000 to 5,000 meters.
Okay, so it's very shallow holes.
That's because a lot of the outcropping is right at surface.
No, it's good. It's when you have the most material on shadow levels, it's much better economics.
But all the excitement that Huntington, like this property, I don't know if you remember Hemlo, the big gold discovery.
Yeah.
So when they had Corona, and Murray Pesament and Ned Goodman were involved. When they had Corona going, they kept Hemlo and they kept this property.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This property has seen some pretty phenomenal drill results, right? So we, without understanding complete epithermal picture, that's why Mike's involved now, and he's master at pinpointing these things. He gave us a quote yesterday's news release, or the news release that came out recently, that says, basically he thinks that this is much juicier at a little further depth, right? And so we plan to explore that, right?
Okay, great. Thank you for the update.
No problem.
Good luck in the summertime, and hopefully we can meet us in September, or we make a Skype interview and you can review all the numbers what you get out from this
Excellent.
new season.
Good.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Joe.
Ja, das war ein kurzes Update. Sie hören, es kommt extrem viel jetzt im Sommer auf uns zu. Sind wir mal gespannt, ob das ganze High Grade auch wirklich kommt. Und ja, schauen Sie auf die Aktie, das könnte wirklich spannend sein. Danke.